Warning, we are a spoiler-based podcast. At times, we are also an offensive podcast, and we are most certainly a verbally explicit podcast. So if you fear for any of your delicate sensibilities, please back up now before you reach the point of no return. This is your final warning.
Good morning and welcome from state-mandated quarantine in Massachusetts. This is Cinematic Anarchy, and this is our first episode of the second season. With me today I have Miss B.
Hello.
And Mr. Omar.
Hello, hi.
And we are doing our podcast from separate places today, and I do apologize for this being the second week in a row where we don't have a live video posted on Facebook. We are working...
Yeah, well, shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens. We're working on some software to basically screen record so that we can record these sessions, and then on top of that, I'm looking to set up midweek sessions. We're going to be doing sort of a version of the podcast midweek through YouTube. Basically doing that through No Man's Sky. I don't know that you're set up for that yet, Mr. Omar, are you?
Who?
We're looking to do No Man's Sky as sort of a...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I got one for Miss B. I don't think Seth's set up or you are set up yet, but we're working on that as soon as we can manage it.
Well, let's see how we get that going soon. Yeah, I don't have it yet.
Okay. And this week we're going to go ahead and discuss a film that we kind of threw into the rotation. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the imagination.
Not at all.
It's a fucking classic, dude.
Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth. And I believe this was a selection from Miss B, so we're going to let her go ahead and start the discussion.
Okay, well, I mean, for starters, Guillermo del Toro is a fucking genius.
Yeah, he's a mad scientist for real.
Oh, God. Where do you even begin with this movie? Like,
well,
it's gruesome and graphic, but it's not, like, incredibly gory, which, like, I love about it.
It looked like he was attempting to do a children's movie for adults.
Well, yeah, basically.
It's what you will get, yes. I agree.
So, I mean, we started watching it at our house over, and I had the kid in the room at the same time, and let me just say I was not ready for the initial brutality from El Capitan, where he basically took out that poor farmer's son's face with a bottle.
Yeah, right? I thought it was a flashlight.
You gotta understand, it's a fascist regime that they have going on. And
there was a bottle that they pulled out of the bag. He took a sniff of it, and then he capped it, and then smacked the guy across the face and proceeded to beat his face in with it. So, all the while, the farmer's father cursing his name.
Capitan was a mean bastard.
Yeah, I mean...
pretty much anybody around him.
He was definitely a sadist, at the very least.
Yeah. He was just heavily distorted little human.
I would say that was an underestimation there. Disturbed, he was dictator-level disturbed.
Yeah, he was, after all, defending again a fascist regime. I love that movie, all the message in it. Also, all the fantasy stuff, it was crazy. I loved it. Every time I watch the movie, I love it more.
I mean, the visuals throughout the movie, including the book that seems to write itself as it goes along in Olivia's hands. Is that what her name is? Ophelia's hands. Just beautiful imagery throughout.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they bookended the movie. You begin with a scene that looks like the girl's dying when it actually is, when you get to the end of the movie, is her fulfilling her destiny to become the princess in this other world.
Yeah.
Which you have to still kind of leave up to imagination. Is this something that actually happened, or just some sort of vivid fantasy that happened in her mind just before she passed away?
I think everything really happened. This isn't just like a dying breath hallucination.
No, it's not.
No. Wow. See, this is the thing, is that I'm looking at how our podcast is going here, because I can see all the ups and downs, and there is a lot of dead air in our podcast today, and I'm going to go ahead and just apologize.
Oh, no, okay. Well,
it's tough to keep the conversation flowing. We're all quarantined in separate houses, trying to keep to ourselves and not spread the virus, right? Or catch it, for that matter. And
some of us out here being fat asses, you know.
Hey! I live that.
Yeah, I'm living that right now. I'm hungry.
I'm doing my level best.
The whole scene where he had to stitch up his face kind of fucked me up a little bit.
Right? Have you seen?
Okay, so like the entire time he's stitching up his face, it's not bleeding at all. But then he takes a swig of whiskey, right, and it's just pouring blood all of a sudden.
Is it pouring blood, or was it the whiskey?
I think that's how it will happen too.
Was it the whiskey coming through the hole?
It was blood. Mixed probably with whiskey.
Probably, but like it still doesn't make sense that like the entire time it's stitching up his face, it's not bleeding.
That is true. I mean, you didn't see a whole lot of blood with that outside of the initial cut. Do you think he might have tried to cauterize it at some point?
I think no,
it would have been burned.
If you're not like a heavy bleeder.
Well, you don't need to be a heavy bleeder to gush from
unanswered questions.
He was almost cut to his earlobe there. I mean, you know, you don't have
to be it was ugly.
You don't have to be a heavy bleeder, but you might have bled a little bit there. You know? I don't know.
Either way, this is a fantastic fucking movie, and I'll watch it again until the end of the time.
Incredible. Every time I watch it, I like it more.
The effects that I saw there. With
this movie started out my whole like obsession with Guillermo del Toro. I still haven't seen The Shape of Water, and I so really badly want to, because like I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but I'm pretty sure it's the like origin story for Abe Sapien.
It looks.
You want to watch it? That's all I'm gonna allow myself to say.
I'm gonna be entirely honest. I own the movie, and I still haven't watched it.
For shame.
It was one of those things that everybody in the house wanted to see, but we can never just, when we sit down for movie night, we can never agree on what we want to watch, and that always ends up being, we want to watch this? No, let's move on to something else, you know.
Let's have a movie party when this is over. I'll bring over some beers.
Right? I got a handful of things we can sit down and watch. Hey, you know what? Sounds like a good night. We watch The Shape of Water and The Virgin Suicides all in one night.
That's something.
But no, I mean, like, my favorite part of this movie, and it's one of those things that you see in the previews all the time, is that creature that has the eyeballs that he fits into his hands to look around.
I scared an old friend doing that in the middle of the night once.
With the eyeballs?
Yeah, I drew them on my hands, and I they died.
What? I mean, he died?
They died a little bit inside.
Oh, I thought you killed him. I was like, well,
No, I swear to God, I didn't kill anybody.
That's a fucking story. All right. Well, as long as we're not, like, scaring people to death here.
You did it late night after watching that movie?
They were knocked the fuck out.
Well, I imagine if I was passed the fuck out and then somebody woke me up that way, that might scare the living shit out of me.
It was hilarious.
I had a buddy, Dave, that used to love scaring the living shit out of me, and I want to curse him for it, but it's too funny. Like, I passed out in the car next to him one day as he was driving me to work, and so he decided he's gonna be real funny, and he throws his hand out, slaps me in the chest, and then stomps on the brake and screams, "Oh my God!" And then, next thing you know, I wake up freaking the hell out.
Oh no!
Well, I did that to somebody, but I parked right up. That's how drunk we were out drinking. It was like 6 in the morning or so. And I just parked in front of a wall. And just put it in parking. And just hit that gas and yelled. And that guy jumped out the car.
Well, that's a bad instinct right there. Somebody scares the shit out of you in a car to immediately think to jump out.
He jumped out, but the car wasn't running.
Jumping out of
the engine was running, the car wasn't.
Jumping out of a potentially moving vehicle is definitely a bad instinct.
He jumped out the car.
So, of all the visual effects throughout the entirety of Pan's Labyrinth, what stood out to you the most?
To the effects?
The effects, visual effects.
Oh. Where do I begin? I love the book. Especially when the book was like forecasting the lady, having the bleed out.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen next? And the book just started getting...
Like, you're convinced that she's going to miscarry because Capitan took her fucking mandrake root out from underneath her bed.
Well, she ended up dying.
Yeah. But when I first watched the movie years ago, I thought the baby was going to die.
Oh, when he threw the baby in the fire, basically threw the mandrake root in the fireplace.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was going to kill the baby. Yeah, that was actually my favorite scene in the movie, or not scene, but special effect, was the whole interaction between the mother and the mandrake root that was under her bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I liked Homeboy with the eyes. But, I don't know, Pan himself, like, oh, God, what's his fucking name? Hang on, I know his name.
Well, he called himself a fawn.
Yeah, but the fawn's name is Pan.
Right.
Yeah.
It's his labyrinth.
Yeah.
What are the name for those creatures?
You're looking for who played the fawn?
Yeah.
The name for the creature is a fawn.
No, I mean the guy that played the fawn.
Oh.
No, Chris just asked what are the names for the creature.
No, there's a name for the creature. They're like half goat, half human. There's like a mythological name for the creatures. A satyr. There we go.
A what?
A satyr.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I never knew about that part of mythology.
Doug Jones is the best monster in every monster movie ever created.
No, you had another person that you loved. What's the other guy's name? He's one of your favorite, like, he's creepy at everything. I think he was he in Hereditary? Oh my god, what is his name? I remember this because I ran across him the other day, and they were talking about how creepy he was in, like, every movie he's ever been in. He's, like, one of the best, you put him in any kind of special effects makeup.
Yeah, Doug Jones.
Was it Doug Jones?
It's Doug Jones. He plays the monster in every monster movie ever. And fucking, like, he's just fucking phenomenal.
Okay, why did I think it was somebody else?
He plays the amphibian guy in The Shape of Water. He plays Abe Sapien in Hellboy.
Yep, that's the guy, okay. I was honestly thinking it was something else. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to concentrate, but Omar keeps cycling through the little special effects filters.
What are you gonna do?
You look like you're your own grandpa there.
A little bit.
Yeah. No, I just had it up on my phone too. Doug Jones. Doug Jones. Was he the guy in the other Guillermo del Toro movie?
Probably.
Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water, yeah.
So it was Abe Sapien Annie was that creature?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe it was an origin story.
That's what I'm saying!
That would seem very, very likely that he was trying to set up for
he kind of was.
An origin story.
Not very cool.
And Guillermo del Toro is the perfect fucking person to, like, direct that shit.
Well, he seems to have a very tight grip on his visual style. I mean, I didn't see anything in this movie that seemed anything other than seamless. All the special effects seemed to work very well. I think the only scene that I saw that felt a little out of place was when she climbs into the tree trunk to feed the toad.
The frog.
That initial scene where the toad tries to grab the stones out of her hand. It seemed... that's the only thing that didn't seem like it was seamless, that it didn't fit.
Yeah.
You could tell that was a special effect, but I mean, even the little sprites, they all seemed like they fit. Just everything was just beautifully done in this movie.
The word genius
I'm sorry,
gets thrown around very lightly. But with this guy, genius is an understatement. He's a beast.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but if I saw... This goes, what, like 11, 12 years old?
Right. This doesn't feel like
it's old. If I saw a giant-ass fucking bug that looks like a praying mantis and can fucking fly, I'm not gonna think, oh, it's a fairy.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck does she get the idea that this is a fairy until it, like, changes shape?
Because she wanted it to be a fairy.
Well, she seemed like one of those overly curious, really imaginative kids. So, like, one of those kids that doesn't necessarily run away from things, but runs right at them.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and sheer curiosity.
You get mind you, this is an old... These are, like, old... This is an old movie, like, what, the early 1900s?
No.
This was supposed to take
the
place...
40s. Mid-40s.
Yeah, like 1940. Well, that's...
Yeah, 1940... Well...
This is around
it's after the Spanish. It's after the Spanish Civil War when fascism took over in Spain.
Okay.
So it's like 44, 45 at the earliest.
Okay. So we're not talking like today's kids that had television to keep their interests and all those other lovely things that seem to make children just zone out to the point that they're zombies. These are kids that ran around with curiosity.
They didn't have all this bullshit to keep their interests and curiosity low, so they don't revolt as adults.
That was rather aesthetically on point.
That's all it is.
That's what?
Smoke and mirrors, man.
Deep reality.
Yep, smoke and mirrors. I didn't think they would allow food on this spaceship.
Oh my god.
Omar's over here. Nobody can see this. This would be perfect if I could actually record the screen here, Omar, but nobody can see what you're doing. This is all for your own entertainment.
If I put my hands up, you get a visual of the view of my spaceship.
Oh, okay.
You see it?
Just you flying through space. I don't know. Anyway, getting back to what we're doing here, anyway.
In a my girl speaking.
So, any final words on Pan's Labyrinth?
They need to make more like this.
And they need to do more. Definitely.
Well, Gilmore,
I want to know what Ophelia does like later on after all of this shit happens. Like, how does she take over the kingdom?
I mean, that would be nice if they could have like a sequel.
What changes does she make to the kingdom?
What would that be? Pan's Kingdom? Ophelia's Kingdom?
Well, I mean...
I don't know what you'd name that.
Pan's the fawn.
No. She'll be the princess, the queen of the underground world. The underground world is her kingdom.
Okay. No, I'm just saying, I mean, what would you call something like that? Like a sequel to Pan's Labyrinth? What would the name be?
Underground world.
Hang on.
Well, I mean, Guillermo del Toro in general, he has a ton of movies, none of which that I've seen a lot of them, and none of them seem like movies that were anything other than just spot on visually. I mean, he was responsible for Hellboy, or well, the original two anyway. He was responsible for Pacific Rim. He did the
Moana's Kingdom.
That as well. He did The Devil's Backbone, which was a good movie. He
No, I mean that's Ophelia's name in the underworld.
The Devil's Backbone?
No, Moana. Moana is her
Labyrinth.
name as princess. Her original name as princess.
Her name is Princess Moana.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was just reading things off, and okay. One of the more recent movies that he did, he was actually responsible for Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if either of you have seen that.
I still need to.
He did... Well, okay, I did not know that he was also responsible for that early, or late 90s movie, Mimic.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and,
I just watched it, like, a week and a half ago, too.
he's got a lot of movies that he was responsible for that were just absolutely fantastic. And it's some here that I'm looking at that I really, really think I should go ahead and try to find and watch.
The man's a genius.
Truth.
I had no idea that he was responsible for the Kung Fu Panda movies.
Yeah, he had his hand in that too.
But Guillermo del Toro doing animation, I guess? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, why not? He is not limited to just spooky sci-fi shit.
It's weird because it says that he's responsible for Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3, but not the first one. So I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, so we still have a little bit of time for this first segment. We'll move on to just kind of ask you guys, is there anything that you've watched while in quarantine this week that stood out?
There's a series on Prime. Well, there's two series on Prime. One is Hunters with Al Pacino. Great series. It's about a group of Nazi hunters in 1977 New York. They start basically hunting Nazis that are hiding in America.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've been wanting to watch that particular film. It's a little tough for me to take you seriously with the monster mask.
It's a series.
Talking about Nazi hunters, and you look like you got candy canes for ears. I'm having a tough time taking you seriously, Omar.
Not ears.
Horns, ears. I don't know where his ears are, so...
They don't exist.
Not on that monster, anyway. And, have you watched anything?
Did we watch anything that stood out this week? Did we watch anything that stood out this week?
Ask the audience.
I'm asking the boyfriend.
Well, technically, he's the audience. He's right in the back there.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I've been watching, like, Stargate and reruns and shit. Oh, I mean, I've been binging the Annabelle series.
Okay.
Like the Conjuring series.
Okay.
And I like that they're doing spin-offs instead of the Conjuring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right. I know I've actually, I've meant to watch those films.
There's a lot of movies to this fucking series.
Yeah, they are.
Conjuring 1, 2, and 3, and then Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, Nicholas La Llorona.
It's like a new...
Next is going to be Annabelle Does Dallas.
Let's hope not. Let's really hope not.
Annabelle Does Vegas.
It's been a hectic week for me, personally, so I've only really gotten to sit down and watch a couple of movies. The only one that really stood out was we took advantage of the early releases that they had on video on demand. We ended up watching that animated film, Onward.
Oh, yeah. I heard it was super sad.
It was not a bad movie at all. I really did enjoy it. Tom Holland, And, was it Chris Pratt? Did a fantastic job with the voice acting.
What's the name again?
Onward. It's an animated film about like magical kind of Dungeons and Dragons creatures. I think it focuses on two particular troll brothers who the entire world has forgotten that magic exists, and they inherit a magic staff from their father that's supposed to bring him back for one final day because he passed away years back when they were little kids. So yeah, I mean, very, very sad premise to a child's movie, and okay.
His foot.
Yes, he's moved on to making himself look like a foot.
Okay.
You're a foot, sir. Okay. That being said, we're gonna go ahead.
I used to say people look like a foot as an insult, and now you're a foot.
Don't
hate me because you're all hands.
It's a wrinkly foot too. It's not like a foot.
Now I'm Seth.
Seth? Where is he anyway? I invited him to this thing, but I haven't heard from him all week. And he's a waiter too, so it's not like he has anything to do right now.
No shortage of alcohol there.
No. And by the way, Miss Sugar has come to play on the podcast for a minute.
Sugar Murray.
Yep, Sugar Murray. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break in the middle of the podcast here. Well, not in the middle. Hopefully in the middle, but we're going to bring up station identification, sponsors, so on and so forth. No station. We're just on, Spotify, Breakers, Stitcher, pretty much anywhere where podcasts are found, and we go ahead and release
everywhere.
Our podcasts pretty much everywhere. And when we come back for the second half, we will be asking some fairly personal and slightly outrageous questions of our little group here. And
this one matches the beard, by the way.
Hopefully Omar won't take us out of our element too many times with these little filter changes.
Ta-ta for now.
Okay, we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to Cinematic Anarchy. We are back for the second half of our podcast where we're just going to sort of go around. I'm going to ask a few questions of the group here, and hopefully it'll give you some insight as to who we are and what we're about, or maybe just give you a visual as to how slightly screwed in the head we are. One of the two.
I apologize in advance. Not really.
Hey, I picked some timid questions this time, so nothing absolutely foul. I will go ahead and I'm gonna put a question out to. We're gonna start with Omar here. This isn't a question that you can answer. This is a question Omar can answer. Okay. So I picked one foul question. That's one that I'm gonna direct at Omar here. If someone were to have texted you a picture of your dick without context, would you know it's your dick?
Depends on the person.
That he froze. He either froze or he accidentally logged off.
That is not a question he wants to answer at home.
Depends on the state of said dick.
You know, the first question that I would have if someone were to have texted me a picture of my own junk is, who the hell has this?
Yeah.
Who took the picture? Because I don't send those kind of pictures out. So
I could tell you how old it is, because if somebody sent me a picture I don't remember taking, I have an idea that it took place in my 20s.
Okay. Around the time that you were drinking a lot.
I pretty much spent my 20s drunk.
I would say my early 20s. I was about the same way. I don't remember a lot of my early 20s.
I could tell you that it took place in my 20s and around what time, because I knew around what time somebody could have done such a thing while I was in a drunken stupor.
Miss B is in her 20s yet, so she doesn't have this story yet. You know, back in my 20s, because you're in it.
Well, she doesn't have one of those that nobody's gonna text her a picture of neither.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Her not having one of those at all, and all.
I'd be very concerned if some random person was just sending me pictures of myself.
Yeah, that would. I would have
especially
Call the police immediately.
I mean,
right, because somebody's at the window at
But
that
if it
point.
was like my boyfriend or someone like that, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Why? Well, why was that
Yeah, right?
necessary?
Why are you showing me? Show me you.
that'll be the.
Okay. Well, second question. Second question here. What president throughout history would be best in an Air Force One movie situation?
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just said something random.
Like one of the most polite presidents you could think of. If there was a president that I think could have pulled off an Air Force One kind of situation, I think JFK.
I want to see George Washington.
George Washington on the airport on the
What is this flying metal bird?
on the carriage one.
He's running around with like a fucking musket.
On the whole carriage one.
That'd be a Canoe Force One.
Canoe Force one.
No. I want like someone to go back in time, get George Washington, and bring him on Air Force One in modern day.
Who was
and see how he reacts.
We had a president. Was it oh God, what was his name? Was it Roosevelt? He used to wrestle bears.
Eisenhower.
Was it Eisenhower?
He was a general, so I just
Most of them
thought
are.
of him.
We had one
that's a
president
lie.
that used to bare knuckle box and wrestle bears. I think it was one of the Roosevelts. We had two Roosevelts.
Oh, I figured it out.
Was it FDR?
Go to the Google.
You can't ask me shit about presidents because
No, the Google will tell
I'm
you.
drawing a blank.
It was the one that Robin Williams played in the movie in
Theodore.
Night at the Museum. Theodore Roosevelt.
Theodore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teddy.
Roosevelt.
I believe.
He hated being called Teddy, by the way. Absolutely fucking. I did a report on him back in like middle school, and he absolutely fucking hated being called Teddy.
Huh. He actually.
I just noticed that this filter gave me the huge eyebrows.
Huge eyebrows. Yep. He's still on the filters trying to take us out of our game again. I'm going to try to ignore you, Mr. Omar. It's not easy because you got that spinning tie and... okay, moving on to the next question. If your refrigerator played a song every time it opened, what would be the best song to play?
Eat Out More Often by Dolomite.
I think, for me personally, Weird Al's version of Fat.
Fat. He did Eat It too, I think.
I don't want to do Eat It. I want it to be something that tells me to stay away from the fridge.
There you go.
And that song about him being fat and having his own zip code, his ass having his own zip code, yeah, that would keep me away from the fridge. I need to lose a little bit of weight, so I need motivation the other direction.
You have come a bit of a ways, though, in all honesty, from before, because you were rather hefty.
The scales are not telling me that yet, though. So I may have replaced a little bit with muscle, but it's not apparent yet.
Coming from being hefty myself, heftier, because I'm still, have a ways to go. I know it's not an easy thing, so props to you on that.
You got anything yet, Miss B?
I'm drawing a blank. You gotta give me a minute. Hang on.
Another good song for the refrigerator. Cold Beverage by G Love and Special Sauce. If anybody's even heard of them. They were a 90s white alternative rap group.
I know them.
You know them?
I don't.
No?
And I remember the song. Vaguely.
Hold on.
Miss B is still trying to search for something for the song for the refrigerator. You're doing like a Spotify search or an iTunes search right now? Spotify. Okay.
Songs about food.
Songs about food.
Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson.
Sweet Dreams, Marilyn Manson's version?
Marilyn Manson's Sweet Dream. That would be...
Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something.
Yes. Yeah, looking for something.
Though, you like the Marilyn Manson version over Annie Lennox?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Well, they should be two different songs. One for the fridge and one for the freezer.
One for the freezer?
Yeah.
I'm good with the same song for... I'll do cold beverage for the freezer, and we'll do the fat song for the fridge.
I'll do Ice Cream by Wu-Tang Clan for the freezer.
Ice Cream? Okay. I think I'm good. Or you know what would be... actually, one other song. I don't know if you've ever seen VeggieTales. But the cheeseburger song.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one, too. All right. We've got another question here.
I'd have to go with Latch by Disclosure.
Okay.
You lift my heart up when the rest of me is down.
That works.
Yeah, absolutely.
That does work.
Yes.
By the way, I do like your Sharpay toupee.
That is a Sharpay toupee.
Oh, Omar and the filters today. Have you taken screenshots any of these? Because these are some of these.
I've taken a couple.
Yeah, it's everybody's
some of these
favorite.
are hilarious. I can't see it on my end. We got one of those last week. The Kwai look there.
That was definitely not a Sharpay, by the way.
No? What was that?
I look like more tan under this light, I guess, with this one.
What was that dog on his head? Do you have any idea?
I think it was like a Pomeranian. It was a Sharpay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, more wrinkles. I apologize for likening you to a Sharpay there, Mr. Omar.
My friend had a Sharpay. I'm going to skip over, by the way, the whole stimulus package thing and just go straight into Petco and write the bullshit.
Okay, we can skip
I'm sick of this coronavirus shit.
I have to agree. I'm kind of sick of that as well. Okay, I got a handful more questions. Next question here is a question from the Ducking High deck. If humans evolved from monkeys, how come we still have monkeys?
Exactly. No, different monkeys.
Well, just because we evolved from something doesn't mean that the thing does not exist anymore, I suppose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just a certain section of the monkey society took a right-hand turn and said...
I think we probably evolved from one specific kind of primate.
Okay. Like, that version of the monkey and or ape or whatever we came from doesn't exist anymore.
That bloodline from the monkey that mutated is the one that continued to mutate, and the other ones just stayed back in the evolutionary process.
It's that one runt in the group that says, I'm really tired of throwing shit at you. I think I'm going to go do something else. Just educate myself a little bit. I'm going to go make fire. I don't want to do this anymore. You throw poo, I'll burn sticks. I'm good.
This is boring. I'm going to make some fire. I might come up with a wheel. I have a weird shape in my head.
The wheel kind of looks square to start off with, till we rounded the edges.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. If you were thrown into one of 4 major sports leagues, what sport and position would you be most successful in?
What?
If you were thrown into one of 4 major sports leagues, what sport and position would you be most successful in?
I don't know about major.
Well, I'm going to tell you just based off of my size, I'm going to say I'd be successful as a goalie in hockey.
I'll be a water boy for soccer.
Soccer. Water. That's the sequel to Waterboy. By the way, it's going to be Water Girl, starring Miss B.
Yep.
H2O.
And then Chris will be one telling you that everything is the devil.
What? I'm the mama?
You're the papa.
I'm the papa.
Telling her everything is the devil.
Everything's the devil.
Yeah, do you remember that? She used to, this sports are the devil.
Soccer is the devil. It's supposed to be football.
It's supposed to be called football.
She goes over from the UK to basically a water girl for American soccer, but it's football where daddy's from. I'm not going to say that. I'm not referring to myself as daddy again.
No. Please don't.
No, there's a lot of people out there that ruin that word for me. I can't.
I refer to myself as daddy sometimes and poppy, and it's kind of fun, I guess.
I can't. There's
the
too
younger
many
generations ruined it.
Yeah, there's too many
Now I'm gonna tell you.
We've ruined a lot of things.
Well, we'll ruin that word if I refer to myself as daddy while wearing this wig.
Too many weird girls with daddy issues that call their significant other daddy that make it. That's just weird. You know?
Yeah.
You don't see guys going around. I mean, well, I guess there might be some, but you don't see a lot of guys going around calling their significant other mommy, unless they happen to be a mom.
See it all the time, actually.
I call my significant other mommy. I'm sorry.
There's like a creepy factor to that for me. I don't know. It just feels weird.
Yep.
Well, then again, in my defense, I never call my mom mommy. I always call my mom by her name.
Okay. I think my kids haven't gotten to the point where they're referring to me as Chris.
But my significant other is mommy.
I only call my mother Deborah when I'm pissed at her.
I find that my children only use my first name when they're very, very angry at me, or they have trouble getting my attention otherwise. All right. One last question for the day. What movie most recently made you cry?
Frozen 2.
The Green Mile made me cry.
Okay, Frozen 2, first of all. That made you cry?
Yep.
Haven't seen
died!
it. I haven't seen it.
I'll be back. Me and my filters will be back. I gotta set something up.
Okay. All right.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right here.
Let me get some fruits.
Okay. You go do what you need to do. First of all...
Frozen 2 broke my heart.
I haven't seen Frozen 2 yet, so I did not know that Elsa died.
Oh, no, there's something else that, breaks your heart even more. But, I'm not going to spoil that one for you.
Okay. I think
it's fucked up.
I think Omar doesn't know that his camera continues to pick up the audio, even though he's walked away to do something.
You guys heard my new laugh?
I could hear all that. I'd say
I'm sorry, guys.
That is quite all right. I'd say that Onward, it wasn't quite enough to make me cry last night, but I did recently rewatch The Virgin Suicides, which was highly emotional.
This is not
so that made me cry again.
The fourth, come. I'm sorry, guys. We're having a moment.
Hit the mute button. No? Okay. But yeah, no, The Virgin Suicides made me cry again. I absolutely love Sofia Coppola. Probably one of Kirsten Dunst's best movies, as far as I'm concerned. Melancholia is actually a good movie by her, with her in it as well. Imagine having your wedding on the day that you realize that a comet's going to basically hit the planet and wipe all basically life off the Earth.
That sucks.
There was another movie. I don't know. I've seen a few Kirsten Dunst movies. Not all of them I liked, but she was also.
Oh, wait a minute! I've seen that movie.
You have?
Yeah. My mother had it when I was a kid. I remember that movie.
Okay. So then you've seen that.
Yeah.
There was another particularly good one that she did. I think it's called Upside Down. So it's this weird movie about basically two sections of society. One that live on two different planets that are like a couple of miles away from each other, and so you can see people from planet to planet, and these two people fall in love, and the gravitational pull of each planet. This guy's down here, and you got the girl that's up here.
Okay, I've seen that on like Netflix, I think, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's got a lot of heavy social commentary, because like I think like the people on his planet are supposed to be like the downtrodden kind of I don't know, the lessers of that society, and she's part of the high class society.
Okay.
I don't know, I might have that in reverse. But either way, people from each planet, they're not supposed to socialize with each other, even though they're like inches away from each other, or miles, as it were. You imagine having another planet so close to us that it was just a couple miles away? Like constantly having that planet like almost in touch with yours?
I feel like after a while they'd crash together.
Huh. Unless they're just both traveling along the same path, instead of conjoining paths, parallel paths.
Yeah. I still feel like eventually they'd
like the
collide.
gravitational pull of each planet like, would kind of pull them together.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where Melancholia came from. It's not so much a comet, it's just two planets colliding with each other. I see your what is that?
This is Oliver.
I almost called it a gecko. It's not a gecko.
He's a gecko.
It's a gecko?
He's a leopard gecko.
Okay. Then I called it the right thing. Wow, okay.
But yeah,
I thought it was off.
His legs are all fucked up.
Looks like Omar's going to miss the end of the podcast. I think we've run out of questions here, and we're going to end the...
No! Ask again!
Ask again? All right, I'll ask one more question. We're going to go blind here. I'm not picking out this question. Let's see. All right. Would you rather have to turn off every sports game at the 2-minute mark, or only be able to watch from the 2-minute mark to the end?
Say that again?
Would you rather have to turn off every sports game at the 2-minute mark, or only be able to watch from the 2-minute mark to the end?
2 minutes to the end. Are you kidding me? The end is what we all fucking wait for. Oh my god, I keep dropping my phone.
I agree. I have to agree.
Yeah.
The end is always the end.
Yeah, nobody wants to see how it starts, but everybody wants to see the conclusion.
Exactly. I don't give
Now,
a shit.
let's reverse that. Oh, not reverse that question. Put it in a different context. Would you rather watch every movie up to the 2-minute mark, or only watch the last 2 minutes of the movie?
I just wouldn't watch the movie at that point.
Only if it's a short film.
Right? I mean, what's better, the beginning or the end?
It depends on the movie.
You really can't make a decision there. I mean, because you're missing all the context in the middle of the movie.
Well, but it's a context. It's gonna depend on the movie. For example, Goodfellas, first minutes. The Godfather, last 2 minutes. Or when all the killing takes place while they're either at the opera or baptizing a child.
Okay.
That's like the climax of the movie. Goodfellas, the first two, because everything was good times.
Okay.
So it's gonna heavily depend on the movie.
If you didn't know and you had to choose, though, that's the thing. If you don't know and you can only do one. So
The last.
the last?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the podcast for today. And
why do I want to think a character this is? Because there is a character like this, like
Charlie
a famous
Chaplin?
character. Will be Dr. Watson or somebody like that?
That might
Yeah,
be Watson
maybe.
as well. I was thinking Charlie Chaplin, but
No, not even close.
No, the mustache.
no, the mustache for Charlie Chaplin is more Hitler-esque. Hi, that could be Watson. You might be right. We're just trying to discuss the origins of your outfit through the filter there. All right. So again, we're going to wrap up the Cinematic Anarchy portion of the podcast, and thank you for tuning in, listening to us today. It is kind of difficult for us to coordinate this self-quarantined in 3 different houses. And listen, later on in the week, on Wednesday, we will be releasing another episode, our second episode, or the inaugural edition, the first episode of the new season of Tea Time with Honey.
Yeah.
All right. So from myself, Miss B, and Mr. Omar, thank you once again for listening.
Woo! Oh, wait.
Wait.
Peace.
I say bye with the dog? Bye with the dog.
Oh, the dog.
What's the dog's name?
Owen.
Owen. So it's Owen and Oliver?
Owen, Oliver, and Stanley.
Owen, Oliver, and Stanley. Those are the
Right, because you got a new lizard.
Yeah, Oliver.
Oliver Twist.
Well, they're all adorable.
Oliver Queen.
I had a dog that looked a lot like Owen there, and we used to call her Bugsy. Because she could not, no matter how often we put her through the flea dip, she always seemed to find a whole new colony.
Ugh.
Yeah, we called her Bugsy for that reason.
She was Bugsy, professional insect watcher.
Right? Constantly had to have her in her bed on the floor. You're not getting in our bed, you're covered in fleas. Go. Lay down. I don't know what you're rolling in.